Hello, sun rays and moonbeams. For those of you who picked group number 1 and the hydrangea flower, this is going to be your reading. So before we start diving into the process, I wanted to try something a little bit fun. So I'm going to be using some astro dice to get some signs. And then we're also going to do some Scrabble tiles, and we're going to see if we can get some initials or words or anything relevant to your situation. And this is just to bring in an added layer of confirmation to see if this is your reading. So for signs, it could be your sun, your moon, your rising, or let's say if you have a stellium in a certain sign, you can take that as your confirmation. If you're coming into this with a situation regarding someone or something, and like that comes through very strongly, this could also be a sign. But also, like, don't marry yourself to this process or this part of the process. Again, if it don't apply, let it fly. When we get into really discussing the energies in your current situation, as well as just your your energy toward things, then we'll start to see if this is you or not. So just a little funsies. Let's see. We're gonna do this 4 times. Okay, so the first one is Sagittarius. We have is it Gemini? I always get Pisces and Gemini confused. It's Gemini again. And one more. Aquarius. Should we roll one more time? I feel like I really wanted to have 4 different signs. Now we have Pisces. Okay, so Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, and Aquarius. We'll leave her here. Cute? Kind of. All right, and so now we're gonna go ahead and in my bag of tiles, we're gonna pull out just a couple, see what we get. Nothing too crazy. I'm trying to get to like the bottom of the bag. Let's see, we have the letter R. Ooh, another R, so R's could be significant. We have E. You know what I'm hearing? Ooh, R-E-A, rear. Okay. That's a lot of R's. What I was hearing in the beginning with like the double R, like it's like, I don't know, the sound of a record player, like when like DJs are like rewinding the records. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I have the letter G. We have the letter O. Go. Okay. It's funny because I was like thinking that we'd probably get like a bunch of nonsense in the beginning, and I'd have to like shuffle them around and make words out of it. But like, we're going. All right, we have U, E, and T. So now again, this doesn't have to be anything for you in order for this reading to be yours. But again, we're just moving things around and seeing, All right. Eat. All right, so take it however it resonates. We had a couple of things come through there. We had go, we had out, we had rear, we had root, we had great, we had ear, we had eat. So absolutely, let it sit with you. Okay, let's get into it. So hydrangea tells us that your current situation is involving something where you are considering where you are currently, where you're going, and where you have been. One thing that's really interesting about hydrangea is like you'll see here that there's 3 colors, right? We've got purple, we've got blue, and we've got pink. Now, if you know anything about hydrangeas or even just the process of planting, the levels of acidity or the pH of the soil affects the color of the flower. So let's say you're growing them and you have, like, I don't know what the specifics are, but you have those colors that are coming through, like let's say it's pink, right? And you want the hydrangeas to actually be blue. All you got to do is either move them to, the correct soil for the correct color of what you want, or you kind of just have to go through this process of adjusting things. So I do feel like you are in a place of transformation and metamorphosis. It's giving this air of like really reconsidering a lot about where you are, where you're going, and just what colors you want to show to the world. Like, I get the sense that there's just a lot of things spinning around you, and you're trying to just keep your feet planted and trudge forward. um, so now, and to get your energy toward your situation, I've pulled two of these cards from the Wild Mystic Oracle. So we have peace and we have determination. And so again, in that, like, there's so much changing and transforming. Oh my gosh, Pisces, yes. So Pisces could be significant. You could be dealing with a Pisces or someone who has like heavy Pisces placements. You yourself could have Pisces in your chart. Again, if it don't apply, let it fly. But what I get from this is that this is someone who is in this period of metamorphosis, and they just want peace, and they just want things to kind of be chill and calm down. And honestly, with the state of the world, who can blame you? A lot of us are wanting that peace, but I feel like this is something where maybe home life is not as peaceful, or there's something about your job that is just like very stressful. So it's almost like there's this added layer of looking and longing for peace. And with that determination coming up after that, I do feel like you're very determined. You're like, you know what? I'm going to protect my peace. I'm going to get my peace, however that resonates with you. And like, really, it's like, I don't know, like, I get the sense that you've been through it. Absolutely. Let's go a little bit deeper. So I've pulled some cards from the Wild Unknown Archetypes. Yeah, I love that because we're going in. This is a little bit of rain, and then we've got, the Wild Mystic, we've got the Wild Unknown. And so, like, just playing into this collective energy of like the wildness that's around us. Um, let's tap in. Let's go a bit deeper. These are upside down. Here we go. So we have the Venom card, we have the Mountain, we have the Dead End. I feel like, did I do that right? And we have the Offering. Okay, let me stop trying to explain myself and just get into it. And maybe that's something that's coming through for you as well. Like, you're in a place where you're trying to figure out how to explain yourself rather than just doing, and like wanting that peace but not taking action toward it. I mean, you're going to just live in the chaos. And I feel like you know that, or you're coming to terms with that inaction is also a very big action to take. And so, that it almost feels like, the peace is what you want, and you're trying to get to the point of being determined to getting that peace. Your essence right now is coming up as the Venom in the reverse position, or in shadow, as this deck refers to it as. And like, I'm hearing like suck the poison from an aging wound. It's actually a quote from a Halsey song, so don't give me credit for it, but she says, there's a line in there. She said, he cut me open, sucked the poison from an aging wound. So I'm getting this like, as like removing the poison. Your essence had been poisoned before, and maybe there's still a bit of poison that's lingering in your essence, but you're in this place where you're like, removing those bits of poison, and you're cleansing your blood, cleansing your bloodline, cleansing your lineage. Um, mm-hmm. There's so much, like, not to say that you're an awful person, this is definitely the vibe of like, I've been exposed to things. And this came up in another reading, but like, I'm seeing that same imagery. So if you're my client that I had that reading with, just know that you're in the right place. But it was this imagery of like someone just being a squirrel in life, but being around so many sharks that they needed to act like a shark and adapt some of the sharks, tendencies and things like that, just so that they could not be seen as prey. Um, in the eyes of these sharks that they were around, like it's big fawn energy essentially. And so I think that you've realized that there have been a lot of places in your life where you have fawned and you have given up things that you've truly wanted, all in the name of protecting other people's peace rather than your own peace. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's interesting too is that like we've got this like these teeth, right, that are in here, and there's like a moon in here. And I think that this is something where you're realizing that like maybe a little healthy amount of venom is okay to have in your essence to protect whatever celestialness is inside of you, to protect your inner ethereal baddie. Like um and sometimes you do have to show your teeth in order to fiercely protect that, and it doesn't mean that you have to isolate, because we're going to get here too. So where are you in life? You're in the mountain, and this person is kind of, they've made it to the summit, and they've put themselves in this place where they're in isolation, they're away from prying eyes. I'm hearing very interesting that this is the first energy to come up. Yeah, very interesting. But the mountain is a great place to be because it shows that like, you started at the bottom and you've climbed and you were relentless and um relentless. Interesting, interesting. And maybe that's how you see like you've held no resent toward other people, and because you were so concerned with reaching here and protecting other people's peace at the same time, I think you've sacrificed a lot. And so now that you're at the top of this mountain, at the summit, you're just kind of looking down like, ah, damn. What about my peace? And maybe it feels cold and boring, and you're just used to having other people's chaos in the way. Maybe you've started to put these boundaries to give yourself more of that isolation. um, and maybe the silence is just deafening and you don't really know what to do with yourself in this. What's interesting is that we're looking at um, what you've been given, and it's a dead end, which is very interesting because I feel that you've been in this place where you've had to do a lot with minimal resources, and you've had to be very strategic about how you move forward in life, and the energy in which like it's giving big transmutation vibes. Like you took nothing and made it into something, and it's very admirable for you to have done that. I'm also drawn to the fact that like we've got two hands here, and like we can kind of see him, but he's off in the distance, and we see teeth. That was the first thing that came out. So maybe there's even, to an extent, you've picked up these things about showing your teeth, right? From these sharks that you've had to be around. And now you're in this place of like this little squirrel, and you're like, okay, but how can I let the squirrel out? How can the squirrel be safe? I've literally learned how to work with nothing, and I I still feel like a shark. I still look like a shark. I still smell like a shark. I still hunt like a shark, but I want to be a squirrel. I want to get back to my squirrely self. It's a lot to navigate, absolutely. I mean, like, even just looking at, like, what have you been given? You've been given almost nothing to work with, and that's intense for you to have made it to the mountain. I want to read from the mountain because it's actually a big deal in this book. Um, Shout out to Kim Krantz. I mean, I hope she's doing good stuff on the other side of it. Here we go. There is a mountain, it says. I am the mountain and I am calling you. I wake up. And so in this part, she actually talks about herself and, just life and other things. So she says, "Where would you go?" My therapist asked. "I don't know," I said. "I just see myself walking. I end up in the mountains." "Which mountains?" she asked. "I don't know." She says, "I had a feeling." and following that feeling. Absolutely. Let's see, what page is the mountain on? You're coming along on this ride with me, with me. The mountain is a place. What's also interesting too, it's like we looked at your essence, and my intention was to have your essence be a self card, but we got a tool in shadow, um, and then I asked about, like, where you are in life, and we got the mountain. It's a place. It's a place. Um, why am I not seeing it? It's right here. 33 on page 129. That's crazy. It literally disappeared from my view. Like, when I tell you, there was nothing there. Maybe you're working on that. Maybe there's an element here of you learning how to cloak yourself and all of this. I like that. That was good. Research mountains. Find one that strikes you and stare at it for a while. Where is it? The pilgrim may be the awakening in you. The summit calls. Absolutely. The ascent, the peak, the insurmountable, grounded in the eternal, steadfast, uplifting. Mm-hmm. Standing upon its heights can activate the purest and perfectionist in us, creating separation from those that we deem to be below. Mm-hmm. No matter how high you ascend, remember that it is within the core of the mountain that the gems and minerals and jewels reside. If you think it's all about going up, you're following the fool's path and missing the miner's magic. Yeah, absolutely. So, like, you've gotten to the top, and it's like, oh, isn't that what the sharks told you? The sharks were like, yeah, you were supposed to get to the top of the mountain. Once you get to the top, once you reach that summit, it's all like amazing. But because you spent this time fueled by keeping the peace for other people and not really holding on to yourself and what you wanted in this, now that you've reached this point, it's almost like, well, what's there? And maybe there is an element here of you kind of feeling that you're a bit above people who are, still at the bottom, because you've gone through XYZ to get up to this summit, and you've made it, and you did it with almost nothing. And you I feel like you've even encountered a lot of dead ends in your own life, and you've been in these spaces where, because again, you were protecting other people's peace, some of your own wants and needs and desires became the dead end. That's really interesting. Don't worry, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna find the way. We're gonna bring you back to your squirrely self before the sharks did their thing to you. Um, we're gonna be all right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so moving over, we're going to look at how this has shaped things in life for you. And we have the offering, which is very, very interesting. So I think that when it comes to service, baby, you got it. Like, she is a service baddie, unless if you're a he or a they or anyone identifying as other. Um, we'll just say they, so we can, everyone will be included. Um, but, like, yes, they are a baddie. They know how to give and how to serve, how to be of service. They know how to offer certain things. But I think that it's also about, like, maybe even to a certain degree, like, being fearful of where these offerings might lead you, or maybe just thinking over and over and over, like, okay, if I offer this, is it going to be another dead end? If I offer this, is it also going to be, like, chaos and mayhem? Like, it's a dead end, but, like, that looks kind of scary, and it looks like someone reaching out, like, help me, please. And like the valid, like, you literally had venom from sharks running through your veins, and you're in the process of purging, so it's natural that you'd want to maybe even fiercely protect whatever piece you have now. Maybe that's also the other thing. Maybe it's not necessarily that you're yeah, You've spent so much time protecting other people's peace that now you've got your own sense of peace, and now you're fiercely protecting it, but you're still finding that there's dead ends left and right. Mm-hmm. I want to read from the offering because I feel that there's a lesson here, and I think that this is also something that you're privy to. You know, I think when you want to be, you can definitely be very giving. Let's see. The offering is a tool, and it's on page 193. The offering, generosity, donation, volunteering, the gift, the present, the sacrifice. If there is a gift you've been thinking of giving someone special, now is the time. It talks a little bit about Gandhi. We don't have to talk about him though. I mean, you know, he did his thing. He lived his life. Um, so the offering carries a clear as day message and a call to action. As you may have guessed, it is time for something to be given and given up for the sake of the bigger picture. If nothing comes to mind immediately, though it's likely it will, take time in meditation to consider what must be offered and who is to receive it. It's likely that you'll feel attachment and hesitancy. Yeah, we were even talking about that. Yeah, the attachment and the hesitancy. Like, you know how to be a service baddie, but you're protecting your peace because you had no choice, and now you're just very uncertain moving forward. So it's likely that you'll feel attachment and hesitancy. You'll make excuses, but recognize the link between the word sacrifice and the word sacred. One leads to the other. When we offer up something to the greater good, we lighten our load and become more able to serve. Imagine for a moment if you were to offer your whole self unconditionally to the world. But for now, start small. Mm-hmm. I love this for you. Definitely taking time to, like really just experience back to some of those squirrely tendencies, right? Where, mm-hmm. It's like if you want to be part of community, then you also have to be community as well. And I think that, as something as simple as helping someone cross the street, or if you see someone struggling with their groceries, or maybe you're taking time out to, help a charity, or engaging with the community that you're in on a more physical level. I think you know how to give, and I think that you'll find that, you're in a much better place to give now that you've gone through this and you've learned these harsh lessons. Mm-hmm. Yes. I love how we're like, we were going to hype you up, and it's like, bestie, you're holding on too tight. You're holding on too tight to your light. Yeah. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's get into the light. We're going to go ahead and pull from, this is the Divine Feminine Oracle. And we just want to look at like what energy needs to be nurtured at this time. I do also want to say, like, a person who's actively trying to protect everyone else's peace and not necessarily thinking about their own, that is a good person. And so maybe you are in this place where you're fiercely protecting your peace a little too much, Like, of course, no one can hurt you if you're isolated, but how are you going to practice your conflict resolution? How are you going to practice being part of a team again? And finding a new team now that you're releasing this poison from you. How will you be able to move forward in relationships that are more aligned with what you're called to in terms of community? Because the state of the world right now, like, we got to learn that community is not our friends that live an hour or even 20 minutes away. If the grid goes out, baby, our community are our neighbors. It's who's next door to you. We can't be driving 20 minutes to so-and-so's house because I ran out of bread. We got to be figuring out how we and our neighbors can come together and make bread for each other so that no one starves, right? Let's look at what needs to be nurtured. Ooh, Lilith. We had a lot more cards that came out. Do we want to peek at them? How many are there? There are four of them. So something tells me here, and it's funny because like I was just holding it, but like this one's already leaning out too. We'll look at them very quickly, but I do want to just mention that like because we did get this way, I think just feminine energy as a whole is something that needs to be nurtured within you. And this could even just be a message that you've been getting for a while, but yeah, my intention was to only pull one card for this part of the reading, and we've got five extras that are falling out. So let's see what this one was. Yeah, we have Shekinah, the presence of the divine feminine. We have Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion. I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity brings compassion. We have Thekla, the prophetess of true power. I call back my power from all times and places. I am my own. Yeah, and I think that maybe that's something that you need to balance a bit more of, that you know how to be this nice, this giving person. And you can still be this person, and you can also be like two things can be true, baby. You can protect your peace fiercely, but also help protect other people's peace as well. We have Marguerite with the mystic of divine love. Love is divine. I am nothing except love. And we have, oh gosh, Anandamai Ma. I'm probably butchering that. The joy permeated mother. I am my own guru. I know the self that never changes. Yeah, absolutely. So take whatever little tidbits. Oh, look, we have Bridget kind of, sticking her face out as well. The goddess of the eternal flame. Every time I see this card, I always think of that song, Eternal Flame. Okay, we're going to put these babies onto the side. So the card that you did get, the most pressing thing that, in terms of energy that needs to be nurtured, is Lilith, the first woman. I am the voice of my body and soul. I choose the life that I desire to live. Absolutely. So interesting things about Lilith. A lot of people think she's a demon. She's not. If we look at the story, the true story of Lilith, um, and who knows, maybe it's not the true story. This is all just speculation, isn't it? When we look at the story of Lilith, that seems to fit a little bit better than this idea that she's a demonic woman hiding in a cave, breeding legions of demonic armies. um, she is the first woman that was created, and she was made from the same earth and clay and substance as Adam. And so when Adam wanted her to submit to him, she refused because she was like, we're the same. And so, the story goes that supposedly she ends up getting banished, and God then makes Eve from the rib of the man, and she also becomes subservient to him. But Eve is also still the one who chose to seek knowledge, and that's what she was tempted with. Imagine, she was so sick of being subservient. She was like, no, give me knowledge. And so she ate the fruit, and she convinced Adam to eat the fruit too. So like, there is this essence. Like, if you identify as like a more feminine energy, it's so weird. I don't even know where that came from. I literally just heard bubbles. We're doing things over here. The energy is shifting. And like I usually say, I wouldn't believe half of the stuff that I talk about unless if I experienced it for myself. So welcome to the experiences. I will definitely, let's experience together so we don't have to be afraid. Anyway, coming back to this idea, right? When we think about the complexities of a relationship between the masculine and the feminine, there's this idea that we have here in the 21st century in some spaces, that the masculine should be the head. But when we start to look at these as two equal energies that ebb and flow back and forth, it rocks a lot of the current paradigms, and it makes these like little paradoxical portals of nuggets of information. And it leaves room for theory of what could happen if we were allowing these currents to run smoothly. I think it's also really interesting that like we have this imagery, right? We also did get we got Gemini and we got Pisces, and so we think about the twins and the two fish, and there's this element of duality there, and just like cycles and keeping things flowing. I mean, even like we've got this circular shape here in peace, and in the peace symbol. Mm-hmm. There's something here about you really blooming forth. So again, if you identify as someone who is a little bit more on the feminine side of things, then leaning into that is definitely something that is going to just help you moving forward. Um, Understanding like I am the voice of my body and soul. I choose the life that I desire to live. We are all co-creators in this. Like we are literally all making decisions that have a little butterfly effects that bring stuff together. And like whether you believe in the energy of it and the more how would you say it, ways in which it's like I don't know, just woo woo. We were getting there, and I'm like sitting in your energy, and I'm like, I don't know. How would you say it? But like these more fantastical ideas of how energy moves and flows, and like think about it on a physical, logical plane. And let's say the time you choose to leave for work in the morning, and what little tiny chains of events are being affected by other people's tiny little chains of events, um, to bring about the coincidence of arriving at the same place and the same time as someone, or minutes above or behind them, um, or even accidents, keeping somewhere that you have kept yourself safe because you, I don't know, locked yourself out of the apartment in the morning, right? You may have missed the potential for an accident or some sort of misfortune, but it might also have led you to being in the perfect time in the perfect place as someone that you haven't seen in a while. And all those things are going to be affected by other people's little things, right? So understanding that energy, and again, if you're more feminine, this is about co-creating in that way, and standing up for the rights of people who are getting their rights taken away, more specifically people who identify as feminines, or even just people who are biologically not feminine, or not female, and they are expressing themselves in a more feminine way. um, we got to just come together, right? So sit in that. I am my body. I'm the voice of my body and soul. And not the alarm going off. I have this really random alarm for Mondays, and it's like something can go here. I did it. I did it. Something can go here, and it's actually this. um, we made room for it. We did it. We did it. So coming back to that, I am the voice of my body and soul. Right now, that's definitely something that we need as a collective, and if you're holding on to this energy and you're like, I don't know where I can put it, I don't know where I can offer a helping hand anymore, we're safe, you understand that that's a risk that you take. And if it's for the greater good of humanity, the mountain is calling you, baby. If you identify as someone who's more masculine, like you're still welcome here. You're absolutely welcome here. And I hope that, I'm doing something for the energies. I keep shifting these, and I just want you guys to know that like my tripod is way over my head, so I can't really see much of what's happening. So I think I'm pulling things. I don't know if things are leaning one way or the other. I'm just kind of going where my hands lead me. But again, not to say that you're not welcome here if you're someone who identifies in a more masculine energy, but we definitely need people who are more in masculine energies to stand up for these things. We need someone to also be the voice for women, for, the. I'm trying to be so PG and PC. And I'm trying not to polarize too much, but find the women in your life that you care about. How can you make their lives a little bit easier, especially if you are someone who comes from a place of privilege. um, oh, I felt that. I felt that. If you're watching, then yes, I don't know. Someone in the comments is probably just gonna be like, oh my god, that's crazy, my cat did something and something fell on my head at the exact moment you were like, I felt that. And it'll be great and we'll all laugh about it, so please feel free to comment, because I love reading comments on videos, and now that I'm back here, like, honestly, I'm realizing that's what this is. I am so motivated by comments, so please comment on my video, because I need to know that I'm landing somewhere and that we're doing the things. And I don't think that's too much to ask for. I feel like if you need me, then let me know, because I need you too. Um, anyway, so yes, masculines. We are having issues where there are certain masculines in power that are now the voices of a woman's body and soul, and choosing the lives that they think that women want to live. And so, find the nearest female in your life, the nearest feminine, and see how you can protect her. Give her a little protection today. um, or a gift if you owe. I mean, if you know, you know. What else do we have? Anything else here? What needs to be nurtured? And then I'm going off of my notes here. This is our reading. We got 2 pages. So we are on number 8, tarots. Just in case you wanted to follow along. So yeah, this is the energy that needs to be nurtured. Should we clean this up, or should we just mad dash it on top of the table? Honestly, we'll be right back, because I realized that I sat down without a tarot deck. And we're back. I have grabbed my all-time favorite deck for this reading. I don't know why I didn't bring it down before. I think I was going based off the list that I have in my breakdown of the reading, and it just says tarots. It's the only one I didn't label. All right, so it just says, why love you? I love my notes for that. It's just like, why? Let's look at the tarots. If you're enjoying this reading, know that the 4 honks outside. If you're enjoying this reading, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, smashing all the buttons, and doing the things to help my channel grow. I'm starting my process and wanting to be monetized, but in order to do that, I need to have quite a few things lined up. So also, if this is your first time here, it's so nice to meet you. I have a lot of old videos. You can see how I've changed. You can see the growth, right? I think that's fun. I considered deleting them, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, exactly. Knight of Materials, or Knight of Pentacles. We're gonna keep moving forward. So pretty. Look at all the flowers. I love this deck. Literally love this deck. Interesting. We'll put that one here. Oh, can I move it up? Let's move it up. I need a lot of room for this one. Hold on. I'm going to stand up. Oh, wow. Yeah, I was way off. The confirmation holds. Cute. It's gonna get messy here. Yeah. Let's get 3 more cards. I'll take that one too. I feel like she wanted to come out. Oh my goodness. Oh. Are these? The deck is mostly one way. I apologize. We'll do them one at a time, just to be certain. Yep, that's what I thought. Oh, interesting. And also, okay. Can we see all of them? Oh no, we can't. All right. I'm gonna leave these on the sides then. That's great. That's perfect. And we're gonna note that those were technically in the challenge position, being horizontal, rather than a full reverse. And on the bottom of the deck, your big deck energy, excuse me. Energy's moving, energy's moving. We have the 8 of materials, or 8 of pentacles if you're looking for the standard tarot meaning. Okay, can we put it right here? Oh, isn't she so pretty? She looks like a little bit of an eyeball. Yeah, love that. Love that for us. So, why love you? There are so many things to love about you. And I think that a lot of them are muddled, muddy. It brings me back to that, like, sucking the poison from these wounds. And I think that this process probably has you dredging up a lot of your own BS, essentially. And because you're in this place of hyper fixating essentially on what you haven't done or what's not great about you, you're losing sight of what's great. Yeah, yeah. I'm taking my time with this because it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Your energy is very heavy. It's not more than I can handle. But it's definitely very heavy. And like, I get it. I can see why. I mean, there's also like, there's so much going on in the world as well. And I feel like that's also kind of like affecting just you and how you're operating. I feel like you're also very focused on work. I think that because you've been in this place of like, oh yeah, I gotta go climb the mountain. I gotta climb the mountain. I gotta get to the summit. And now it's like, I don't know, it's just like overkill on the summit, or like you're like, where's the next mountain? Like you're not giving yourself like a minute to just to just be. We have a lot of major arcana that came out. Not a terribly large amount, but like enough where it matters. I think that you are incredible at going with the flow, and I think that you think very quickly on your feet. And I think that when it's time for you to move and take action on something, I think that typically that's not a non-issue for you. I think a lot of your current circumstances and situation, like those are the things that have maybe felt like you're not that person, or maybe you feel like you're only that person in some areas of life rather than others. And so, where this feels like you can move and flow, it feels like you can also stop and think. I wouldn't categorize you as someone who is hesitant or can't make a decision. I feel like you're someone that takes their time making a decision. Maybe lately you've been taking a little bit too much time, or maybe in certain areas you take a little too much time. But overall, I think that when it comes to feeling and thinking, yeah, feeling and thinking, there is a nice balance that you have in there. And it plays into this energy of like having a good head on your shoulders. I'm also noticing the duality again between the muse of voices, and then also we've got here. Mhm. There's a lot of like balance that happens, but I don't think you see it. I think that some of these sharks have made you feel like some of your better qualities are not actually good qualities, or I don't know. There's something going on there. Um, I do feel like you're somebody that you have the tendency of getting very hot headed and very emotional, and your words can cut. Like you could slice someone clean. But on the other side of that, there is someone that holds so much passion and intellect. And when you're not pushed to this extreme, this is someone who, again, like you're making things out of nothing. Like this is alchemy, right? Ooh. Yeah, it's interesting. Like now I'm feeling a little bit more of your energy around. Feels familiar. Do I know you? It's giving soul family. Yes. Um, you're someone that can see, like, because of this passion and this intellect and this desire to develop these things, I do see that this is something that also creates opportunities for you. I feel like you're someone that maybe has a hard time reflecting on some of these things. Um, and it's like your head and your heart are saying stuff, right? Yeah. You have these abilities to see these things, and I think they just need to be redeveloped. I'm not saying that there's nothing lovable about you now, but I feel like a lot of your better qualities have just been so hidden under this energy of like those people around you and how you've allowed them to infiltrate essentially. um it's interesting, like I'm pulling and I'm like I still feel like I'm tapped in but with other people's noise. Let's get it out of the way, actually. You know what, you might be one of my longer groups. I don't really know how much time has passed on the beginning half of this reading. Where are we at right now? Oh, it's only been about 11 minutes ish. Okay, let's get through what the bullshit of other people is saying, and honestly, it's gonna have some truth to it, right? And you're probably gonna sit here and you're gonna understand that this has some truth, but like also we're gonna look at it both ways, and we're going to validate those parts. And also, I hope you take accountability for some of that because I feel like you need to. Um, I feel like, yeah, a lot of people see you as indecisive, and a lot of people see you as like flying by the seat of your pants or just constantly changing directions in certain things. I feel like a lot of people are saying that like you just can't see, or you refuse to see certain things. Um, and you're very much in your head. I feel like you're cold and calculated, or people say that you are very cold and calculated, and that you don't have much of emotions or much in terms of emotions. You're always angry. You're always with your nose in other people's shit. um, which is really interesting because you know what, like you're trying to protect other people's peace, and I feel like you've been dragged into protecting other people's peace. But then when it comes down to it, people will be like, oh, but you're just always with your nose in everybody's business. But also, like, would your nose not be in their business if they didn't bring their bullshit to you all the time? Anyway, I digress. People maybe feel like you have this lack of reflection, of looking at yourself and looking at your actions and understanding why you do things the way that you do. It's just a general air of like you're a smartass and you don't know how to introspect. But I don't think that's true. I think that you're so heavy on introspection that you're just trying to push the noise out and keep moving forward. Damn, did I hit it? Did I hit it? I think I hit it. I hit it. Ooh, this is so exciting. You know what? We're going way off here. What's in this? The middle. Mm-hmm. 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 I think I think you have a knack for being so present in everything that I think it actually is like mental torture. I think that you are so self-aware that it's to a fault. You are constantly analyzing yourself and how you are perceived and how your actions are received, and that is the way that you are protecting other people's peace. I say all the air quotes with all the love. I also think what's really interesting here is that like we have these are sizes, right? Small, medium, large. We have med and we had MD that came out, so maybe there's something here about like doctors or needing to go to a doctor. Maybe you need a doctor for your head. Um, to help you sort out through all of that. Oh yeah, this could also be medium. I said middle earlier because I heard like middle. Oh, but also metal, like AL, but MEDDLE, metal. Hello, I can't. My fingers are not working. There goes my dexterity. We're gonna work on her. But yeah, maybe there's something here about like you maybe need to see someone or speak to someone about that because like I definitely get it, but you don't want to always be in this place of analyzing everything that you're doing that is so exhausting. And I get that. Like the maybe you're also someone who is just very energy sensitive and you need to be in a place where you are doing what you can to protect your energy and to also block out other people's energies. Like imagine you can read everybody's thoughts. That is so annoying. And then you feel like you have to manage everybody's thoughts about you because you can hear them. It's so awkward. Welcome to the clairs. Welcome to your spiritual senses. Um, yeah, how absolutely exhausting. um and not saying like that you need to like seek help because there's something wrong with you, but that is a lot, and I think that on a physical level that needs to be developed. I think that also on a spiritual level that needs to be developed, um because it's a gift, and it was given to us through awful circumstances. There's research and documentation that's coming out from the 70s and forward that there were studies done on this, and um, the two are linked. If they want a psychic, they have to traumatize them. So, um, mhm. There are plenty of things that are lovable about you underneath all of this. When you're not let's do this. When you're not trying to manage the voices, yeah, there's something very healing about you and healing about your presence and just in your own energy. It's like you emit this feeling of peace. You emit this feeling of it's going to be okay. And that's so precious. And I feel like as a squirrel, yes, of course, that's like that is you. And maybe that's why the sharks loved being around you so much, because they got that sense of peace. And yeah, like you make careful calculated decisions, and this is not something, yeah, it's still coming out in the reverse. The goodness in you is muddled, as muddy and muddled underneath. Now the sun and the moon and your big deck energy is the ace of inspiration. Ugh, who hurt you? Let me have them. There is definitely something so loving and healing about just being in your presence, and I think that people really enjoy that, and I think that the sharks have taken advantage of that. You can make decisions and you can consider what's best in terms of compromise. Like, this is a very diplomatic energy. I feel like you also are very, like, in just the way that you can see people, it comes across as very nurturing and very light. And I think that also you have this ability to just effortlessly create things. And again, the sharks have got that. The sharks have got a little bit of a hold on that energy. And so through that, they can energetically infiltrate anything that you're creating. And so you need to protect your energy, because you're like this insane creator, creatrix, and you give life to people's dreams. You have this ability to just exist in a space that, again, like it's so effortless, and you bring warmth and light. And I mean, so like also, what are things that you can do for people? But like, what about you? Like, you're so inquisitive and you're incredibly smart because of it. And you have this fire and this passion in you, and this sense of almost childlike wonder, this desire to not be stuck in a place for so long, but it's just covered. You have this beautiful insight into life and the way that things work, and truly at your core, you are so sweet and so loving and so special. And you see opportunities where other people maybe cannot, and you're able to turn dreams into reality. This is like big transmutation energy. Like, wow, holy crap, look at you. You know what to say. Again, like, when you don't have all of this worry about other people's energies and narratives just like clowning all over you, you like break it away. Like, actually give me some of that, Kate. Just deposit it right in my hands. Imagine you're pulling it out of your head and just put it in my hands. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna take that. That's a lot. I'm gonna mash it up. I feel it in my lower back. And now I'm gonna give you something. Take a deep breath. It's gonna be love. Mm-hmm. I'm feeling it electrifying in my hands and building and building till there's this beautiful warm orb. And I'm gonna give it to you. And just allow the warmth to like cover over you and imagine that it's protecting you from like this narrative of like what you can offer other people. Like it's so interesting. I'm like sitting in your energy and I'm like, we pull some cards and I'm like, yeah, why do we love you? And it's like, oh my God, these people love you because they're using you. They're literally sucking the life force out of you. Um, and then it's like without everybody's noise, and it's like, what do they really have in there that's so lovable? And it's like, what I can do for other people? No, no, that's not about what you can do for other people. It's about just what's inside of you. How do you exist? How are you in your natural state of being? You know, you're a good person. Definitely in there. I want to read. This one is one of my favorite decks because it has poems attached to every single card. So I want to read the poem for the Nine of Emotions and the Muse of Voices. Let's start with the Muse. Light with me the world on truth, sweet drop of trust ignite. Flight with me in all our youth, our sacred will speak bright. Absolutely. Steer clear of showy displays made with false beauty of smoke and mirrors, and that will allow you to focus on the art of the mind and to put your head in front of your heart while you find your voice and use your tools of perceptive independence. Mm-hmm. Remember, we were talking about that in the beginning with Lilith, and there was this message that came through about, you know, the voice of women and their bodies. Something needs to shift. A tasted life of wishes brings the ups and downs of joyful strings, and after all my learning sings, my satisfied rewards forth springs. When you wish, do your dreams, when you wish your dreams to life, how big are you making them? Are they luminescent enough to keep you going when things get a little dark? Mm-hmm. Do they light the way when you forget why you wanted them in the first place? I love that. Rainbow recognition. What's that? You want me to read another one? It's because it's on the table, it's just staring at us. And I know I moved the Empress, but I got you. For the lovers. Little spirit, if you want to love, you must make a choice to love. You must say yes to your heart before the flower opens. And the memories are laced with moonlight, sweet skin union choices, a sense of worlds becoming one, bodies breathless voices. There's so much to love about you, and I feel like there are people out there that they want to love you, they just need to get to know you first. And how can they get to know you if you don't insert yourself and become part of community and really give these things to people who are going to give them back to you? This is about reciprocity, and like we all go through it where we feel like isolation is going to be the best course of action for us, and maybe to a certain degree we do need a bit of isolation and time apart from other people and whatever it is that's going on, but know that they will be there when you get back. And if they won't be there when you get back, then I don't know, maybe you did something to make them feel like they were better off away from you, or that you didn't truly want them around. And I think that this just needs a little bit of polishing, because remember, you were a squirrel, a cute little squirrel. And they tried to put you with the sharks. And you put on a little fin. And you made your teeth really sharp and pointy. And you were like, yeah, I'm a shark. Or maybe it was not a shark. Maybe it was, let's, I don't know. I'm feeling like maybe there's some masculines or some big energies in here. Maybe not a little squirrel, but a bear or a wolf. And they told you you were a shark. You were made for the sea, but you weren't. You're a land creature. Yeah. Can I do this one from memory? I think I can do this one from memory at this point. And there in the dark, the tiniest spark, and I knew I could nurture this flame. And there in the heart of the womb and the art was a muse who was breathing my name. Take that how it resonates. Take it how it resonates. All right. We've got a little bit more. We got some hyped advice for you. Because, like, where do we go now? You know what I'm hearing? Oh, what's the, is it Sweet Child of Mine? Where do we go? Where do we go now? Are all of these cards in the upright? Okay, whatever. We're not taking reversals on this one. This is the Sacred Creators Oracle deck, and yeah. We're gonna get you some hyped advice. Even though I gave you plenty of it, it was all laced into this reading. But let's see, what do the gods have to say? Shift the new, oh my god, I always mess this card up. Shift the way to new potential with the number 29. What do you really want? The number 27. Bravely market your magic. Let's get a little bit more. Cozy up with risk. Yeah. Oh, hold on. I gotta move this up higher, don't I? Yeah. Like there. I'm acting like the table's in front of me because there's a lot of table in front of me, but I'm like, it needs to just be up. Also, I'm kind of stretching because of the placement of my tripod. Lead your metamorphosis. Yay, butterfly. Make a mission statement for your soul and creator fire. Should we get one more? We'll look at the bottom of the deck. Your big deck energy is the distraction of shiny things. All right, let's talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about moving. All right, your advice here. Oh my gosh, are we still live? We're still live. Okay. I smacked the crap out of my microphone. I'm so sorry. You probably heard it. I don't know why I'm explaining. It was just my hand. Okay. Your advice. You have so much going for you, and it's only going to get bigger and better. And I know that you feel like you've reached this summit and you're not really sure, and you feel like you need a new mountain to climb, but there's something about shifting this mountain energy into really becoming one with it and becoming one with the direction that you're moving, and seeing the steps that you've made reaching the summit as the groundwork, the framework, the foundation for the expansion of what these dreams are. I feel that there is something here that you have really denied yourself and you've pushed down and suffocated. And the more you allow yourself to not be distracted by shiny things and material gains, and the more you turn inward, the more you'll really come to terms with what it is inside of you that's truly missing from where your life is now. It is going to take a lot, and it's going to take a bit of a risk, but that is something that you, I'm hearing, that's your cross to bear. That's your cross to bear. You've got to cozy up a little bit with risk because you are in this place of transformation. And I think that you've come to this place where you are a very different person from the person you were when you started this journey, the person you were even just 2 weeks ago. There's a lot of shift energy here. There's a lot of change and metamorphosis. We saw that in the beginning of your reading as well with the hydrangea. There's something here about changing the pH levels of the soil, or maybe uprooting the hydrangeas completely and putting them next to a new plant that feels like it'll be a better sense of community. You're really being called here to tap into this alchemist that's in you. We have a lot of flame energy that's coming through here, and I feel that maybe if it's just lighting a candle and speaking to it, or maybe it's burning something in a fire safe container and keeping fire safety in mind. Maybe you're writing a note to your old self, or maybe you're writing notes to the old versions of people in your life to let them go. Maybe you're imagining a cord between the two of you and lighting that on fire to break away. Or maybe it's just simply burning the old narratives. There's something here about energetically allowing an energetic flame to really cleanse and help you start new and where you want to go in life. I feel that you should have house rules, something written down that reflects who you are now and what your goal is for the shifted future that you're being presented with. Anything else? The message from the ocean. We did get a lot of fire, so let's temper that. But the message from the ocean. I think I'm gonna finish just on time. My alarm is going to go off soon-ish. And it's not my alarm for reading, and so I have stuff I have to do. I have to run. This worked out nicely though. Okay, from the ocean spirits, yes, we have Lemurian waters. I'm going to read from the book for this one because I'm not so familiar with these cards. But there is something ancient about you. I would say, it feels like you're at least a couple centuries old. Embodied alchemy, abundance, soul gifts. I am a conductor of many frequencies. I am reactivating new wisdom that quietly dwells within me. Like crystals that contain the many whispers of time, some believe that our bodies also hold information in a similar way, as we each have the ability to transmit and absorb many frequencies. We are living conductors after all. Yeah, going back to that, I think that you are receiving far too much. And I think that there's something here about engaging in some sort of spiritual practice that aligns with your heritage or your lineage or your religious beliefs, if you have any, in terms of how to protect yourself and your energy on that level. Because I do feel that you're hearing everything from everybody, and you don't need to hear all that. That's not a great way to live life. This card indicates a time of spiritual growth and inner healing. It is a powerful omen that crosses many sands of time and wisdom teachings that have been long lost. You are being given a glimpse of an ancient world that also exists within you, a place where a language of love is shared with all, to remind you that you are part of a sacred beauty that is imbued in every atom, particle, and the deeper structure of creation. Ugh, I love this. Everything unfolds to initiate you into a higher state of awakening, every thought, step, and movement. As you reconnect with the fragments of time that are mapped, I was going to say blended, that are mapped along your soul journey, you reactivate a remembrance that calls you home, here and now, forever and always. I absolutely love that for you. That is the message I received for you today. uh you've got so much, so much. Like, there's so much goodness in you, and I'm so sorry that there have been people in your life that have really kind of just taken and sucked the life out of you, sucked the living energy, materia, and ability to transmute. And there is a different it's like the closing for your episode. It's the end credits. I truly believe that once you make your way through and really dive further into this metamorphosis, you're going to see return and just so much. Um, uh, I love you. There are plenty of reasons to love you. You know them. You know them. You just have to dig in there, take a little accountability for some of the past, not too much because it's not all your fault, and move forward and really come back home to yourself. As always, know that you are loved, and you are so worthy of love. So be well, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.